Yo, welcome to Digital Interactions on the Hacking Your Health podcast with your host, Ben Canning.
What question?
Yo, welcome back to another episode of Digital Interactions. Today we are joined with Levi. He has just told me he hasn't come prepared with his answers to the questions, so I think he doesn't even know what the questions are. So for a bit of context with Levi, we are 61 weeks in. Is that right? This is going to be a little bit different, and I'm excited for it because, as opposed to a couple of episodes before, I've been talking about people on their sort of fat loss journey. Levi and I collectively have been gaining weight. So over the past 61 weeks, we're about just slightly over 20 pounds heavier than we were whenever we first started. I will mention that, this is not your first coaching experience, and obviously you did go through a fat loss phase initially. So I think to give a bit of context to you and why you started this journey many, many years ago, I'll pass it over to you, sort of where you were, what the fat loss journey looked like for you, and then obviously we can update as to where we are now.
So it was kind of it was an interesting changeover. I actually, just because we're playing it by ear, let me try this. Let's see if Riverside likes this. Yeah, here, this will actually work. So that was me years ago.
Fucking hell. This is
about
all right.
70-pound difference. And this was even...
For anybody who's listening and not watching, Levi has just fucking commandeered the screen. I am the captain now moment. Anyway, go ahead.
So that's about 70 pounds difference right there. 70-ish, somewhere in there. And obviously Casey is still hot as hell, so I don't have to complain. Shockingly, she put up with me. Amazingly, she still does. But that was back when I was still working at Dispatch, still doing that full time, which, I mean, I still love the job. Left for management and other reasons. I won't get into that because we can talk politics then. Which, I mean, that might get you a lot more listeners, or it might get everyone to leave. One or the other. Which do we want to play with? I don't know. But I've been a lieutenant on the fire department for a couple years. I've been a firefighter for now nearly 10 years, somewhere close to that. Been in a lieutenant's role for a couple years and have been bouncing around, trying some different things. Trying to find something that worked because I knew I was not in the shape of what a leader should be. Let's just put it bluntly like that. Then I ran across a trainer that works with public safety. That's a specialty, is working with cops, firefighters, military, stuff like that. We hit it off. And, you can see the change. I think in the course of 4 months, I lost 40 some odd pounds. And then in the back, roughly year, another 30, somewhere in there, if I remember right. So yeah, that's kind of where that change came from. And then, I mean, we've come full circle. I work with him now, with the same trainer now, doing his business has grown significantly. Let's put it that way. And him and I have worked together for a couple of years now, doing some stuff on the business side of the house. Because I used to run a construction company. I've done business for years. So I enjoy having my side gigs to have fun with. So.
Levi has the life experience of like a 60-year-old, but is like in his 20s. So he's like, I've done this for like 10 years. I'm like, you're not old enough to have done anything for 10 years. Shut up. But
I also have aches and pains I should not have as a
That
20.
is true. That is true. Yes, that's fair. That we can agree with. That we can absolutely agree with. So you went through a fat loss phase, lost 70 some pounds. Then we started working together. And we were like, right, time to gain some weight and do things slightly differently. I want you to, obviously, you know the story, like that has been my struggle. My entire training career has been trying to gain weight. But I want you to sort of give the context of the mindset shift that you have to have going from someone who actively was trying to lose weight for a relatively long period of time to then actively being like, okay, right, I'm going to try and put some weight on now, because I realize that I know there has to be a lot of changes in terms of what the focus is and what you're trying to do. But I also think mentally there's a lot to deal with in that, because obviously you have come so far in terms of the progress you've made, and then actively leaning back into that to go in the opposite direction.
It's a mind game, because you get conditioned so much for going one way or the other. And I have, whether good or bad, I usually take things and run with them like hard. That can be both really good and really bad depending on the context, obviously. So the switch wasn't too difficult to do. Now what are we at? It was last August, and we're in May now. So however many months that is, 7 months, 8 months, somewhere in there. I think I made the comment to you in my check-in 2 or 3 weeks ago. I was like, yeah, I'm starting to feel fluffy now. Because I just actually started noticing the change. More, well, that and also the t-shirts I generally wear. I have mediums and smalls, and I noticed the smalls are starting to get a little bit snug. I'm like, I kind of like it, but kind of don't. You know, at the same time, you're like, but this is just part of the process. You know, take and roll with it. Because, I mean, if you keep going for, we haven't even really talked about how long to keep pushing it. Let's say make it a year, go August, whatever that might be. And then 3 months, 4 months, however long that cut it becomes after that, it's just another cycle to go with. I don't think I've struggled with it as much, or like the mind game with it, because I've been like, okay, cool, we're changing it slightly. It really didn't change much aside from a little bit of what you're eating. I'd say in my household, the person who struggled with it most is Casey, just because she's like, wait, what? What are you doing different now? Because she sees this a little bit different, and I'm like, okay, yeah. So, and it's not like you really change anything that I'm eating. Maybe I'll have an extra. I'm a breakfast cereal guy. I eat milk 3 times a day, 7 days a week, and be happy. I just put hot sauce on it. It's a new meal. So that I might. Okay, cool. I'm having a couple more eggs instead of egg whites or something like that. So the change is hardly even noticeable in our household, probably. Aside from maybe I'm saying, okay, yeah, I'll go to Armadillo's. It's a homespun ice cream shop here in town, which is awesome. Or no, I'm not going to go because I'm out for the week or something like that.
So I think that's actually an interesting context. And now I'm like down another rabbit hole of, should we start inviting everybody's partners onto a podcast to really get the insight as to what's actually going on and not just from
dope.
Anyway, that's another podcast coming.
5 a.m. I just go get her because she doesn't have school. So.
Fair. So again, I think that's a point. It's an important point to note, and you can correct me if I'm wrong here, but I think that probably that change in terms of how you approach food, as in you eat the same things, you just eat them in slightly different quantities to make up the calories, probably comes from the time that you spent going through the fat loss phase, like making it as simple for yourself as possible. I know I can eat this, this, and this, and if I need to change, I just take this thing out, and if I need to change it back up, I just put this thing in. So it's like making the nutrition piece as easy as possible, because I think that we can overcomplicate it, and myself included. And I remember, and I actually had done someone's checking about this morning. I remember the first time that my calories going up, and I was like, fucking party time. I was like, I'm just going to eat donuts, because like now I have it, like what I thought was infinite calories, but it was like 200 calories more than before. So it's just
but it feels like so much when you put it in context, though.
Yeah. But especially from such an extended period of time of having to like reduce, and that's going up. You're like, freedom.
Yeah, you have all that extra. Well, and food is something that. So I was the foodie growing up. I still am the foodie. That's why I was 70 pounds overweight. So for me, I took the time when I worked with, because Luke is the coach I had when I was working with Ted's group, with Fit Responder. We built a meal plan that was really well dialed in. And so my role now with Ted is doing a client advisor role, talking to new clients and stuff like that. And I look at it and I'm like, the idea with food is to figure out what you eat now and let you keep essentially eating it. And I mean, that's accurate even now. The meal plan I started with, like 5 years past me working with Ted, I think, or something like that. It's hanging on a nail in my kitchen right now. I still eat off of it. I still go out. I actually am probably going to have something off of it this morning. I still eat stuff off of the same plan 5 years ago. And that one it surprises people because they're like, wait a second, you could actually figure out food that you like. And I'm going to be I'm the captain again. Well, yeah, when I can have pizza and tacos, why wouldn't I? Like, I might as well.
I will say, so you didn't come prepared answering the questions, but you can prepare with slides. So I'll give you the credit for that. Nobody has yet done that. Yeah, but I think that's an important thing because, and I'm actually going to talk a little bit about this later on today. I think that there's definitely a narrative whenever you're going into a quote unquote diet or trying to lose weight or insert whatever way you want to phrase it, that you have to get rid of all the things that you enjoy and everything is going to be miserable. Whereas if you actively try and either find a way that you can incorporate those things or have something that is similar to that and keep them, that's how we have something sustainable long term. And as you've just said, you've been following something similar for 5 years now.
I think you and I have talked about my mother-in-law a little bit. Have I ever mentioned about her meal plan, her diet thing?
Yep.
It's a 90-day program that she's been doing for 2.5 years now. If you don't see the problem with that already, let me get a calculator. Actually, no, I'm not going to bother. But pancake, like carbs are bad for you. So the next day, I happened to post on my Instagram story because I post food pics a lot. I haven't in the last couple months, but I posted a picture of the peanut butter pancakes that I like making. I straight up, she's gonna murder me if she ever hears this, so I might send it to her when it gets released.
I'll just give you this clip straight away. I'll do it later on this afternoon.
I get a message of how I found something that works for me. You should stop essentially knocking me in my meal plan. I'm like, what the hell are you talking about? This is just what I like eating for the day. Come on.
Yeah.
Ever since that happened, I might have stirred the pot a little bit on food because
that sounds like you. From what I know of you, you sound like a pot stirrer.
Oh yeah.
But yes, I think that's a valid point. And I actually, again, the reason I'm going to talk about it today, I'm going to record the weekly podcast with Dave later on, and a conversation that I had over the weekend, and I was chatting with my sister and my mum, and I definitely think it's a generational thing. So more on that later, that will be out before this. You'll know. Yeah. You'll make sense of it if you're a regular listener.
It's funny seeing the change because my mother-in-law is doing that. My mom actually signed up for the same program that I did years ago with Ted, and she was a client for a year, and I grew up, and I mean, a lot of people my age to your age, I'm sure even more maybe, remember growing up, their parents were, or maybe usually their mom, was always trying the next diet. It was Weight Watchers, there was keto, there was a THM program. Thank God they didn't do the juice only thing. I remember that being discussed when I was a teenager, and I was like, Lord help me. Because they were going to do like the juice only thing, and when we were going on a trip to Alaska, and I'm like, that's going to suck.
I actually specifically, yes, in terms of, I remember generationally, yes, but a friend of mine, so same age as me, went to my school, lives in London, and I was chatting to him back and forth, and he was like, oh yeah, I'm doing this diet, and I was like, okay, sit me down and tell me about it. He was like, it's the egg diet, and I was like, what? He was like, yeah, so in the morning I have 3 eggs for breakfast and half a grapefruit, and then for lunch I have 3 eggs, and I'm like, okay. And then it's like, for dinner, I have 3 eggs and half a grapefruit. I'm like, and you think as an adult man that this is okay to do? Literally, probably about a year and a half, 2 years ago, so maybe 35 years old. I'm like, do you think that is enough food for you to survive on? He's like, but yeah, it really works. So I'm like, well, yeah, of course it fucking works because you're only eating about 700 calories. Like, fuck me. Anyway, that's not what we're here to talk about. Let's get right back to...
Yeah, and nothing. Anyway, to run that, yeah, so my mom did the same program. And it's funny seeing the change because she did it for a year and was dedicated, did the year time, and walked away from it, which is what Ted's goal is, to kick you out where you know how to do it on your own. And seeing the change difference of because my mom and mother-in-law are about the same age, seeing the mental shift, because she walked away saying, yeah, I don't need it anymore. I know what to do. And I'm like, that's the goal of everything. Have the knowledge. Now, if you want to do it for relationships or the practice or experience, cool, that's a different matter. But having to be stuck with it because you're always working for that same goal, that's what to go for.
Yes, the 2-year-long 90-day program. What a sales pitch. Right, talk to me then about how you navigate all this life, all this with your busy life, because I know from firsthand that if there is a man that is busier than anybody I've ever met, it's you, with endless amounts of calendars and jobs and side projects and other bits and pieces you're involved in. How do you fit all of this in? Because time is obviously something that a lot of people stress that they do not have enough of to do the thing.
Barely, and with lots of lube. That's how I'll say it. Everything just gets crammed in there together. I won't do the screen sharing because there's too much sensitive information on that calendar. But it gets packed very quickly, even out to, End of the next week, it's already really packed. At its core basis, it's set your priorities. That's all it really is. What you care about the most is what you need to take care of. And then also look at it both on a priority basis for right now and then later. Because I was listening to, I think it was Jocko, a month or two ago, and they were talking about goal setting and stuff like that on the podcast. Which one, Jocko podcast is awesome. Same with, I don't listen to Human as much as that. One thing I don't have the time for is all the podcasts I like to listen to. So that's one thing I'll admit. One, listen to them on 1.2 or 1.3 speed. You can get through more podcasts. And with how slow Jocko talks sometimes, it actually works out pretty well. But set your goals up for what is going to be the priority, but then also what's the hardest, because then just knock out the hard stuff right away. So it's Monday at 5:20 a.m. my time. So I'm usually up by now. I'm usually working already for half an hour by now. I have a meeting at 7:30 that actually canceled, a weekly sales meeting that we pushed back, and then my next meeting is until 9 until the group call this morning. So the workout that I really don't want to do before jiu-jitsu, because that's going to hurt, that's going to happen right after we're done here, most likely. We'll finish up because I did part of it yesterday already. And then I have meetings throughout the morning. And then just as those meetings go out, bang, 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 just knock out the to-do list. Automations and figuring out what I can automate the most. Zapier is an amazing tool for that. Because I have multiple Slack instances and Todoist and Google Calendar all just sync together. So that way most of it is, I just look at it and bang it out really quick. And then whenever we have time, that comes down to, that's also in work life, and I think a lot of people my age don't, which is weird to say, a lot of people my age don't realize that needs to happen in personal life as well. Especially because I've worked with a lot of firefighters my age or younger. If they're not intentional about what they want, both in their work life and their personal life, they're going to have the same issues. And that applies, I'm saying work life, personal life, I'm talking about workouts, but also what you want out of family, what you want out of a relationship. If they're not taking the time to set those priorities, they're going to end up as that same person they saw, divorced 4 times. We make jokes about the fire service, EMS, public safety, military, but the fire service seems to be the worst, to say it that way. Here's a story which supposedly is true, and I think everyone I've talked to it is, here in town, of 2 firefighters that more or less got divorced and married each other's wives. They just did a key exchange ceremony. Yes, that is how mixed up some people's priorities can get. Because what grass were you watering the entire time? Why bother? Right? So
what you're saying is spend the time prioritizing your personal life as much as you prioritize your work life.
Yeah. Because how many people in tech do we know that get divorced because, we just got too busy?
Fair. I agree, but also you can't automate your workouts. So is it like...
Actually, you kind of can. So you set up the reminder to go do a set. It just get up, go do your set.
You still have to go do it.
Oh, yeah, you have to go do the work. That's with everything. You automate the reminders, though, of time to get done.
Fair. Cool. Right. Talk to me then about what you think the most unexpected thing that you have got or gained within the past 60 weeks. In relation to working with me and We Hack Health, not just like a fucking random off the wall. I guess I should be more specific.
A lot. I would say community, actually, because your end goal in working with folks is essentially the same as Ted's, to kick them out of the door, give them the tools to do work on their own, teach them the ropes of sustainability. And what y'all do, what Ted does, what several of the other trainers I've worked with of help with scale and things like that, there's not a magic bullet. There's no special science behind anything. unless you're one of the people that likes pushing some certain chemicals. And even then, at its core basis, you're still doing the same work, maybe just a little bit different or enhanced. However you want to phrase that. It's always the meth. The knowledge or the process really isn't different. It's just how you structure. It's just every person's individuality of how they structure things. It's always going to be a little bit different. The community aspect is interesting. There's not many trainers. There's only about 5 that I know of that use a community of this design of like using Discord, leveraging it in the way that we do. That doesn't happen often, and it's a tribute to the folks in tech. I know we do it. Ted does it. 2 of the trainers that I've worked with doing some other stuff, they do it that way, but not many other people. And I think part of that is because of, even though, I mean, there's jokes always made about the gym bros and the young kids in the gym and things like that, which is terrifying for me to say. But
I don't even think I'd started training. I don't even think I like committed to the gym whenever I was your age yet. What did you, 25, 26, 27?
26. Turned 26.
I think I only started training when I was 27. So I hadn't even started my gym journey yet. Yeah. Anyway, carry on. All the young kids these days, all the gym bros, go ahead.
Just making you feel older as we go back. You're 39, right?
Fuck off.
For those who don't know, I was teasing it in the check-in about you're this age, right? And I knew I was off, but I just had to screw with it a little bit.
Not yet, but I will be soon.
Yeah, I was gonna say it will be soon. We'll send you a giant cake that has candles all over it that you can't blow out. 10 year older, just add another creak to the bones. Yeah, what was the question again?
You were talking about community.
So the basis that the community has of, let's say, being in it all together, of working together, that isn't something you see in the average culture today. You don't see that kind of cooperation in a lot of circles. Either both the openness of the community of sharing things, not naming names, but there's people who in the calls they're going to share some intimately personal details. I don't mean that in a bad way. Mm-hmm. But that's a testament to, one, they've put in the work that they're willing sharing it, but also, two, that's a testament to the community building a relationship where you're trusted that much. Because, and I mean, I've not been at every call. I would say out of the last 60 weeks, I've done 60 check-ins, because I don't think I've ever missed it. Just a small plug there for the people who do it like half the time. And then also I've been at probably 50, 55 of the weekly calls. Those discussions get deep sometimes. Mm-hmm. I mean, I've worked in, just because of the fire side, I've worked with a lot of people on I'll say the mental health level of things. Like we almost go as deep in some of those calls as like therapists are approaching, because we jump into it on the deep end. And as a testament to how much the community has bonded of, we're willing to talk about these issues, and we're willing to work through them. Because people don't just they're not just bringing it up to throw mud around. This is something I'm dealing with, and either I'm dealing with it now or I dealt with it and I want to share my success. That's hard to do. It's hard for a lot of people to do, especially in this day and age, because I mean, especially the internet culture of, bring anything up, you're either going to get loved or hated for it. Usually hated, because we like to be negative.
I think what I'll say on that is, number one, it's a credit to the other people in the community, and you'll know this, and I have probably said this to you, like, I cannot take credit. All I did was put them in the fucking Discord space. But I think number one, the willingness to share. Number two, the willingness to sort of support within that. Yeah. But I think that the thing about it is, and I noticed this quite early on whenever I sort of started the original group calls, it's like you can turn up and just be Levi. Like, you don't have to insert whatever title you have in the outside world. You can just talk about what the fuck's going on with you. And I think that that's a very, especially just given the nature of what people do, like there's always an expectation of whether it's a partner, a parent, or whatever the fucking title that you have on your or job is. Not that none of that matters, but it's not relevant in the space. So you can just come up and just share the shit that's going on with you. So yeah, I agree. The community side and their willingness and openness to share within that is great.
It was something that I actually thought about last night because I was talking to someone about it a while back. Ben, I meet you at an event. How do you introduce yourself? Hi, I'm Ben Canning. What else?
So,
how many people? I am so-and-so. I'm vice president. I am XYZ.
It's funny that as well. I'll share a story, and it'll be relevant to you specifically because you've been to the muster as well. So I was flying over to the muster with Matt, and
oh yeah,
he's very like.
For folks who don't know what that is, that's a Jocko Buster. If you haven't gone, go. It's awesome.
Yes, highly recommend. But he was like, what's your like? Because people are going to ask you what it is that you do, and I was like, I don't know, like an online coach. And he's like, you're underselling yourself. So his thing is, Matt, I run a business called The Optimized Coach. I help personal trainers make money online. And I just follow up with like, I'm just a personal trainer that makes money online. So that's, if he's not there, I'm fucked. Like I'm screwed. Like it doesn't make any sense without the context of him being there. So I don't have an introduction outside of that. Right, I'm going to get into the quickfire questions, and I know you're the person that asks these, so some of these are your questions and some of them are not. Again, for anybody who doesn't know, whenever we get a new person in, somebody will come with their actual interview questions. Don't you be trying to pull them up because I've changed some of them, so you're not getting the fucking head start on this. So, avocados or no?
It depends on the context. Like if I'm just going to eat them like plain with a spoon, no. But if I'm going to mix it in, because that's the easy, I need fat food because I haven't ate enough that day.
Okay. But you're not like against them. There seems to be a very split camp of like, no, absolutely not eating them, or yes.
Oh, no, I'll eat them sometimes. Yeah.
Okay. I mean, I wouldn't eat one with a spoon like a fucking psychopath, but whatever.
Exactly. I've seen it though. It's weird.
What brand of air fryer do you have?
Ninja. The double-sided two-pin thing. It's
Yeah. Of course, the correct one, the right one. Right. What's for dinner on Tuesdays?
Probably a burrito. Probably a breakfast burrito.
Same as every day. What's your go-to excuse for skipping leg day? And don't give me some chat about BJJ.
Actually, I have not thought of that. I could use.
No, you can't.
For those who don't know, I started doing. I'm also a reserve deputy sheriff, so I do Brazilian jiu-jitsu with the police club. I am sub white belt. I'm essentially the guy who's just learning how much of a moron he is.
Haven't got your belt yet.
Yeah. One of the guys posted a meme in the chat. It was like, "Are you good at jiu-jitsu? It depends on the context and what color belt the person is wearing." Mine is if they have nothing. It's beat me up a lot, and Ben and I've talked about that a little bit.
I've seen some memes. It's like they describe jiu-jitsu as folding your clothes while they're still on, or getting your clothes folded while they're still on.
It is accurate because I frequently roll with the guy who runs the gym, who's a black belt. That's hard because he's just laying there, and I'm like dying. I take my whoop and I put it on my wrist because you really don't want to have anything on when you're doing jiu-jitsu. But when my heart rate regularly throughout a session is 160 to 180, I was like, that was a little bit harder than I expected.
And essentially, you're just lying on the ground with someone on top of you.
I have used that as I don't have anything left to go work out. I've tried. That didn't end well. I think one week I actually put in my check-in. I was like, I went and tried to work out. I moved weight, but I'm not going to call it a workout because it was like terrible.
What is the most absurd fitness health related advice you've ever received?
Personally, nothing bad. Actually, like the folks I've worked with, I've always like taken some time with it. Maybe do a background check. Do I like this person? There is that. Like Travis being worried. But the online advice, cherry pick anything. Carbs are bad. What glandates or raspberry ketones in? Wait a sec, those might be important. Blueberry ketones. There we go. Blueberry ketones. You haven't looked into those yet. Maybe that's your next.
I have not. I just eat the blueberries. So keep the ketones for people who are into that sort of shit.
Insert. Let's just because I always pick on it. My mother-in-law's 90-day program still does the carb cycling, and I think it's absolutely stupid.
The only thing I can think of about with carb cycling is like a meme of like a fucking potato on a bike. Like I'm absolutely no interest in carb cycling whatsoever. Right. Speaking of potatoes, what is your favorite type of potato? This is Kyle's question from Phoenix. I don't know if he just had too many margaritas and he was walking about asking people about your favorite method of cooking or eating a potato.
Oh, I was going to say kind of potatoes. I don't give a rip as long as it's a potato. Usually I like air fry. Make them interesting because I can eat that plain. I can put that in a burrito. I can have it with tacos. That's weird, but
okay.
Tacos.
So my next question: tacos or sushi? If you could only eat one for the rest of your life, I'd already know the answer.
Oh, tacos.
Yeah, all day long. Fair. Right. If you're describing We Hack Health to someone, what do you say?
Do you have half an hour?
Okay, the elevator pitch.
Yeah. No, the pitch would be what's your end goal? Find that out first. And then the pitch is do you want to be part of a community that works together to accomplish goals? And be vulnerable with that community and push yourself. And leave it as a question. Do you want to choose to work? Totally aside, because we're going to break things again. Oh, come on, computer just locked up. There. Thanks, your potato photo.
that can be your thumbnail for you.
Yes.
For your again, for anybody who's listening, Levi is just taking control of the screen again to show me a potato on riding a bike. Anyway, let's wrap this up. So, any final words from you in general about anything?
Put in the work. There is no excuse for it. I would like to. I'll be a bit cocky, and I'm going to say probably almost anyone in the group. I have the life that allows for excuses. I have how many jobs, how many things outside of that. The fire department, I have, it has happened. Actually, I was recording a set of squats this week to try to see if I was going deep enough. And yet again, the tones go off at the fire department because that's where I work out. It's the only gym I have. So of all the excuses of there is literally a fire and I still come back and finish the workout either that same day or later. You can still put in the work. There is a time and a place depending on what's going on in life, but that's a different matter versus got busy once because that you can work. You can plan for that. My dad just died. He didn't, but I'm saying if that happened, that's an actual.
I was like, whoa! You haven't fucking told me this. This is like a fucking like spoiler alert.
No, but that's a different situation.
Yes,
like
yes. That's a reason. That's a reason, and not an excuse. I think there is a difference. Yeah.
Because people in their day-to-day life, and I've thought I've kicked this idea around. Imagine if the check-ins were on one sheet where everyone stopped.
Ooh.
Now I know that probably freak a lot of people out. I get that. But honestly, you see it anyway. Because it got to the point, because I'm usually pretty good at reading people to begin with. I've just for years, both by their voice, because of dispatch, that's the only way I had to
for years in my 26 years in this life, in this earth.
So just making you feel a little bit older, Ben, don't worry.
I don't feel old at all. I feel like the best version of myself I've ever been. But anyway, carry on. Sorry.
But just in the language that people use in Discord, usually you can tell if someone did their check-in that week, just from how they make a comment, even if they didn't directly say it.
This is, I'm open to this as an experiment. So not for everybody, but anybody who is listening, who is a client of mine or not, who's willing to everybody be in the one check-in sheet, let me know. Even if we try it out with 10 people to see if we can really double down on like excuses, getting it done, the progress it's made. I'm willing to try that out.
I think it'd be fun.
One last thing, and I don't have this written down. If you could think about yourself 5 years ago, whenever it was, 70 pounds heavier, what one thing that you know now would you tell that person? Like, what do you wish you knew then that you know now?
That's a hard one, actually.
Dude, I'm going to write that down. I'll ask other people that, but don't tell anybody.
Oh, yeah, 100% do it. Nothing specifically. I think I'd tell myself, really. I mean, everyone.
It's a cop-out answer. You have to give me an answer.
No. I'm getting there. Everyone will be like, yeah, stick with the process. You'll win. Da 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 da. Cool. That's what literally everyone will tell you, though. But everyone in the group, stick with the process. You can make it. We tell that to folks when they start. We give them their 10 questions and then say, just trust the process. Don't be shocked that your life outside will change because of your life inside. Your life outside of the group will change because of your life inside. I know it can be a controversial topic for some people about fitness, and because especially the culture of I've not had it said to me, but folks I know of, I've had folks say you're fat shaming or whatever because you're fit or because you're promoting trying to be fit. If that's the case, then 100% I am. But okay, whatever. Just getting us canceled, starting it off strong. You made the comment just the other day in the sticky notes video. The success you're waiting for is in the work you're not doing. That doesn't.
I actually have that. I still have that literally right here. So for anybody who doesn't know, when I go through everybody's check-ins at the end of the week, I literally pen and paper sticky notes, and then I do a wrap-up fitting for everybody. The results you want are in the work that you're not doing, is what I wrote down. I don't know how I expand on that, but that was the note that I made.
Your results, the work you're doing in the gym is where those results are. But the discipline you're learning in the gym will also change your life outside, your work life, personal life. When you were at the muster, one of the guys, I forget which one it was, talk about extreme ownership affecting his family, about saving his marriage.
Yep.
It's true. 100% true. The work that you're willing to put in, whether it be inside the home, outside the home, at the gym, at your business, that's where the success you're waiting for is. It's hiding because you're not willing.
Good. Mic drop. Right, dude. Thanks for taking the time. Thanks for being a part of what we're doing and your input with everybody and asking the interview questions and always being willing to show up and always being willing to share as well. Yeah. Thanks for getting this cancelled as well. This will be the final episode of, of Digital Interactions. But thanks, dude, and I'll see you in a bit.